Hi guys, welcome or welcome back to my YouTube channel. So as you can see by the title, today's video is going to be a bit different. In this video, I'm going to be giving a starter pack any student who's coming to study in London would need. Now, I never make these kind of videos, but a while back when I was new to London, initially I was vlogging my life, my first day of uni or my life in London as a student. And I have noticed that every intake, like September or March intakes, many students get onto that video and they comment on that and also text me on Instagram asking me all kinds of questions like how's London, is it tough, how are you surviving, accommodation. But in this video I'm going to be talking about the basic things, like the basic guide. Before getting onto the actual video, I just want to say these points are just according to my experience. I faced what I would need somebody telling me. So yeah, without any further ado, let's get on to the video. I'm gonna section this video into two parts, before and after. That basically means things that you should know / do before coming to London and things that you should know or do after coming to London. Starting with the before section. I literally have my laptop ready and I literally made like notes for this video. If I could even help one person. When I was here, I was so overwhelmed and I wish that somebody could tell me all these points. Before starting with these points, let me just say I love London. No other place I would rather be than being in London, and if I could spend my whole life here, I would. But every place has pros and cons, and so does London. But I would say if London has 100 pros, it has like 5 cons. Every student who's coming to live here should know about those 5 cons. Saying it for every student to know, because life here is amazing, but it comes with its challenges. Number 1 point in my list would be about London. I know it might seem irrelevant, but I would say I came here, I didn't expect London to be so huge. Life in this city might not be like anywhere else you have ever experienced. It gets very lonely here, and the weather makes that loneliness 10 times worse. The weather here is very unpredictable, always raining. If you're coming in September, it's going to rain all the time. It's very windy here, it's very chilly here. I would just say when it's cold, and when it's hot. Nothing in the middle. I'm gonna cut that short, it's not a big deal, I'm just giving an overview. Another thing I would mention is phone snatching here is very common, and extra careful when you go out with your bags and your phones, especially in central London. Basically it happens every other place. London is no speciality. You just need to be very cautious and careful. For example, my brother is visiting me right now, and when to pick him up, he comes up and he takes off his bag which has his passport and stuff, and I asked him, what are you doing with the bag? And he's like, I have my stuff in it. I'm like, how come nobody mentioned it to you? How easy it is for people to snatch and take it. Nobody harms you here. One of my friend's phone got snatched and she was not hurt. The phone was just gone. But what they do is they just take away your phone from your coat pocket, or they take away your bag that you wouldn't even get to know. You will realize it 10 minutes later. Just make sure you hold it really tightly, so even if somebody tries to snatch it, they don't take it away from you. For me, it's a reflex. Whenever I go to central London or even near my house, like I have held it really tightly. Another point I needed to mention. So coming to the next point, packing. I would start with clothes. Don't bring too much clothes. Oh, I'm gonna go to the university, I wanna wear this and I wanna wear that. Trust me, nobody relates to that more than me. Definitely get few clothes where you wanna look pretty and stuff, but when it comes to winter clothes, I would suggest one thing: invest in a good jacket. Do it in London, don't do it in India. Definitely get 1-2 jackets that you already own. Get it here so you're sorted for a week. I would suggest when you come to London and you see the cold and the wind that it has here, sensible to buy it from here, because trust me, I got tons of jackets and it's of no use because it is so chilly here. And thermals, like for thermals, I would suggest at least get 2 pairs of thermals so you're sorted for a week. But also buy thermals from here itself, because the thermals here are quite cheap. I didn't get any thermals when I was coming here, and I just got pretty clothes. And then we went to Primark, which is very famous in London. Everyone would know about it. If you don't, that's okay, even I don't know about it. And my mom went to Primark and she got got me thermals. A thermal legging for 249 pounds is 249 rupees basically. It's just one brand which is called Uniqlo. I didn't know about this brand. It was near my house when I first came here and I was dying of winter and cold. I went there. I invested in a good black long coat. It was for 100 pounds, which is 10,000 rupees. You know, it's quite expensive, but it's the coat that I've been using for more than 1.5 years. Yeah, I've been using that till date. Like right now it's summer and winter, I'm just gonna wear the same thing. Even if you're wearing nothing inside and you have that coat, you're not gonna feel cold. It's so good. Definitely suggest you buy a pair of thermal and a good jacket from Uniqlo. There are more options, but I can't speak for them because I didn't use it. Another thing I would add is get yourself a small blanket. Because when you come here, as soon as you land and you go home and maybe you want to take a nap or you came at night, the shops are closed, at least you have a blanket to have on and sleep. And I trust me, I say it with my experience. When I came here and I went to my new house and came and I had no blanket to myself, and of course the landlord is not going to provide me blanket, and I was literally dying of colds. So just on a safer side, pack a blanket. Another point in packing is food. Take my advice on this. Have one suitcase or at least half of your suitcase just of food products. Now a lot of people carry like cooker and utensils, which is fine, you can carry. You're gonna pay on the flight because I think you can carry up to 24 kgs, and if it's more than that, you anyway have to pay at the airport. So rather I would suggest only take stuff that is necessary. For example, take few pans and 2-3 utensils and food. Pack ready to eat make packets and pack some snacks. In initial days it's gonna save you. Trust me, if I could go back in time and do something, I would take out half of my clothes and throw it in my cupboard and put food, important utensils in my suitcase. One thing being away from home will teach you is the value of food. So that is it for packing. My next point will be connect with people. Before coming to London, make sure you join all the Facebook groups and WhatsApp groups of your university. For example, for me, I joined Facebook groups and it took me to WhatsApp groups of my university students and the students who are in the same course. There was another group only of Indians going to London to study. You should have few people with you before coming to London. For example, in my experience, what I did was joined every group my university had, and how it helped me was few people from it reached out to me. They said that we are taking a house together, would you like to join? It was a group of 5 girls who were taking a house together. Then there was a group of a boy and a girl. They were friends, they were both from Pune, and they were taking a house together. You should always take a house with people. Trust me on that. Don't take a house alone, take a house with people. Both of these groups were from India, my course, my university, and I ended up going with the people from Pune. Till date, one of my closest friends. We used to go to uni together, we used to cook together, we were in the same course, so we were helping each other with our assignments. So it just gets less overwhelming. My next point would be accommodation. I don't know if I can stress this enough, but plan your accommodation before coming to London. Don't leave it for end moment. Don't leave it like, oh, I'll go there, I'll book an Airbnb and I'll look for accommodation. Don't do that. Everything is already so overwhelming. You coming here and looking for the house is 10 times worse. Don't do that. Another very important point is you need to look for your accommodation at least 2 months before coming. In my case, me and my friends didn't look for a house until few days before we were coming, and because of that everything was sold out. What ended up happening was we used to wake up in the morning, all 3 of us are looking for houses, getting on Zoom call and being like, did you see this house, did you see that house? It was so difficult. But what ended up happening was we got a house quite far away from our uni. We could have easily gotten a house near our university, but because everything was sold out, we had a house which was, I would say, an hour away from our uni, which is common in London, but we could have gotten a house like literally 20 minutes away from uni. That is the reason I say plan your accommodation before coming here. How do you look for accommodation? I'm gonna get in depth with this point because accommodation is one of the most important thing, and a lot of students get confused. How do we find a house? So you have many online websites that have apartments only for students from different universities. I want to tell you a few websites that you can look into. You can go to these websites and they will ask you questions like, what are you looking for? 1 bedroom, 2 bedroom, 3 bedroom, or a studio? Bedroom bedroom, 2 bedroom and 3 bedroom. It's self-explanatory, but for a studio, basically a studio means a separate like flat with your own bathroom and own kitchen. You don't have to share anything with anyone, which are quite expensive, and that's how you book flats. Where to look for these flats? So there are a few websites done by my own research, and at this point I have few friends also who lived here, so I'm talking about my own experience. They are completely safe. You can book online. So number one being is Amber Student, University Living, Chapters, like the basic and most popular here. There are many more websites. You can go on Google and search. Few near my house, like in Wembley Park, which is Dundee, Arc and Quantain Living, or I'm not quite sure how you pronounce that. I'll just put it over here. These three are on expensive end, which means it's quite luxurious, very expensive. But in my personal experience, I will always say take a share house. That's how you make friends, makes 10 times life easier. If you're in worst case scenario and by chance these websites are sold out, what you can do is look for agency. The agency through which I got the house is from Foxton's Agencies. There are many other agencies that I will mention over here. They will help you find the house. You can contact them. They will assign you an agent who will video call you and show you houses and tell you the prices and stuff like that. Then the agency, there are other websites. Now these websites are not specifically made for students. They are made for basically everyone in general. These websites are called Zoopla, Rightmove, Spare Room. So in this, what happens is basically you get a room along with the people who are already living in the house. It might sound shady, but it's not shady at all. It's literally very common in London. I lived in a house like this for 2 months. It was a house with almost 10 people, and there were like 10 rooms, and I had one of the room with my own bathroom, and I just had to share the kitchen with them. And people were really nice to me. There were like so many aunties from different countries, girls of my age, and there were guys as well. It was quite alright. They were really helpful to me. Everyone just minds their own business. Nobody like gets into your business until you need help with something. They'll help you. Like literally one auntie taught me how to use the washing machine because I didn't know it was a new house, and that auntie was so nice to me. Like it's not a big deal. It's quite safe and it's really common in London. I don't really know how the payment thingy works for other things, but in my experience and as far as I know, usually students in London have to pay 6 months upfront. That's it for the accommodation. Any more question on it, I will literally make another video. If you have any questions, regardless, you can DM me on Instagram or just comment down below and I'll answer it for you. Next point I want to talk about is your flight. I want to mention this because I've had taken too many flights. Trust me, I say this with experience. Do this. Make sure you book the flight early morning in India time. So when you come here, it's morning time in London. You have the full day to yourself. You don't get jet lagged, and it makes things 10 times less overwhelming than it already is. That's a short point I wanted to mention. The next point is transport. Wanted to put this point under before, and the reason being is you will not know how to use London's transport until you do it when you come here. But everyone who is coming to London should have an overview of the transport. This will take time. Let me start by saying this. London has the best public transport I have ever seen, but it seems like a giant puzzle. What you need to do before coming to London is download City Mapper. City Mapper is like Google Maps. It's a kid version of Google Maps. Like Google Map is like an adult version, City Mapper is like a kid version. So City Mapper is specifically made for London. So number one, there are buses and then there are trains. In order to use either of them, you will need a card. Now usually there are 4 kinds of cards: Oyster cards, rail card, train card, and your normal debit card. And I've been using my debit card. I find it the most convenient, the most easiest. Anyways, I'm just gonna give you an overview of all these cards. First, Oyster card. What they do is they put money in Oyster card, and that's how we use it. You can only get an Oyster card when you come here. Coming to the rail card and the train cards, these both cards are meant to be applied online and then it will be sent to your home address, but it is also done after you come to London, so I don't want to get too much into it. Coming to the debit card, when you come to London you need to anyway open a bank account, which I will get later on this in the video. So what I do is I just double tap and I get my cards over here, like this card and this card, and I just tap it and I'm ready to use the transport. So I just gave you an overview of the cards that you could use, but I'm not getting too much into it because it's something that comes after you land in London, and I don't want to overwhelm you by telling you so much onto it. At least you're mentally prepared. Okay, I'm gonna be dealing with this. Reason I added this is because if somebody could have told me that this is how the transport works, I would be less overwhelmed. How I figured it out was, so when I went to the train, I just sat in any train or I just sat in any bus and I got lost. I just don't want that to happen to anyone. So I'm gonna give you a few pointers how London transport works. So how London bus works is, there is a number and a destination name that is written in front of the bus. Get on the bus and you tap your card. You're only supposed to tap once on the bus and tap twice in the train. I can't tell you how it works, but I can give you an example. Right now I'm in Wembley Central and I need to go to Wembley Park. Basically, for example, you're at A and you want to go at B. Let's say like that. You open City Mapper. You open City Mapper. Okay, this is what City Mapper looks like. It shows get me somewhere and get me home. So what you do is get me, you click on get me somewhere and you type in where you need to go. Now if you have a postcode, it's much easier. It will tell you exactly where you need to go. But even if you don't have a postcode, that's fine. So for example, right now I'm Wembley Central and I need to go to Wembley Park. So you can see in my recent, you go to Wembley Park. And when you do that, it shows you few options. It shows you walk, cycle and cabs. We don't have to take any of that. So if you see below that, all the buses that go to Wembley Park. I'm gonna go with the first option, that is 297, and we're gonna click on it. It tells me to walk to CV High Road Wembley. What it means is every bus stop has an initial assigned to it, so you know which bus stop to go to. I go to CV and I take the 297 bus, which is coming in 7 minutes. Scroll down more and it tells you it's 7 stops until Wembley Park. If you click on the stops, it tells you all the places the bus is going to stop until my final destination. And then it shows walk to the destination 1 mile and there you are. Buses are quite easy, but when it comes to trains, that's where the real story starts. Trains over here are called tubes. Now there are many different lines. Basically there are different lines that have different colors assigned to it and a different names assigned to it. But initially when you're new to London in your initial days, you don't need to learn the names. Once you start getting used to using public transport of London, you will automatically get onto the names. For example, there is brown color line, which is Bakerloo line. There is green color line, that is District line. Black color line, that is Northern line. Grey color line, that is Jubilee line. And there are different lines and different colors to it. You shouldn't learn anything right now, you should just know about it. What you need to do is just have City Mapper with you. You need to write the destination name. It will literally show you which train to take, which color line to take, when to get down, when to tap out, literally everything. And one more thing, when you are in London and when you are in underground, there is no network, but City Mapper still works. And in case you forget and get confused which stop to get down in the train, it will literally send you a notification saying, hey, you need to get down now. Until you come down to London and you go and do it yourself, you will never understand. But just know that you're gonna figure it out. And just remember, there's always TfL staff. TfL is Transport for London. The staff is always there to help you out, so don't worry about anything. If not even staff, the people around you, you just need to talk. They're so helpful, everyone will help you. So the next point is after you land in London. First thing is, as soon as you land in London, don't take the public transport. After 8-hour flight, nobody is ready to figure out the transport of London. That's the last thing that you want to do, to take a cab. That is my suggestion. How London cabs work is, London's famous cab are black cabs, which you might have seen in movies and stuff, but they are crazy expensive and you shouldn't take them. And then there are different cabs like Uber, Bolt, which we will use. And when you get out of Heathrow, there will be black cabs available like in line, and there will be drivers vendors who know that you're international students and they can tell you're tourists, because that's what they did with my parents. My parents came and they asked and they literally said it'll be £250 for coming literally 20 minutes away from the airport, which was ridiculous. As soon as you go out of Heathrow, you need to take level 4, which is car park or cabs level. What you need to do is just download Uber or Bolt on your phone before coming, and like have a credit card or debit card on it, and just book a cab to max. The price will be 20 to 30 pounds and even lesser, which is quite reasonable, guys, for your first day in London. Literally, you're so tired, this is the first thing that you should do. So take the cab and get home. The next point is get to know your home. So when you book an apartment or a house, in my case it was an independent house, when you get home, make sure you have the landlord's number ready. Make sure when you enter the house, you have all your doubts cleared of how to switch on the gas, the heater, water, lights, everything, because here it's quite complicated. There is another switch for heater that heats up the whole house, so it's warmer inside because it's so cold outside. Sometimes the gas thing is complicated and there are like tons of questions only a landlord can answer. Because in my experience, when I came, I went inside the house, I couldn't find the heater, I didn't know how to switch on the gas because the stove was something like different than we usually use. So I would suggest get to know your home before anything. The next point is food. So now when you come home, of course you're hungry. You took my advice and you had a suitcase to yourself for your utensils and ready to eat packets, then you can obviously open that suitcase and eat some snacks and make yourself something with the ready to eat make packets, so at least you have energy for the full day. When I came here for the first time, I directly went to the hotel, but there also I just got bread to eat because there was nothing I could eat because I'm vegetarian, so I couldn't eat anything other than bread and butter. But of course, if you have snacks and ready to eat make packets, then you don't have to worry and you can quickly make yourself something. The next point is know your surroundings. After you had yourself a good meal and you're comfortable now, you have some energy, go outside, see the streets. These are the streets that you'll be using every day, so know your surroundings and go for a walk. Yeah, the next thing that you should do is look at the grocery stores. Basically here the most common grocery stores will be Tesco, Sainsbury, Co-op and many other grocery stores. And because you listened to me and you took my advice and you booked a morning flight, now you actually have time to go grab something from the grocery store. In London, everything closes by 6 p.m. Sometimes Tesco stays open till 8 or max 9 or 10, I'm not quite sure. But I definitely know that most of the Tesco's also closed down and most of the grocery stores also closed down. So you have nothing opened after 6. Like the whole London shuts down at 6 or 7:30 on weekdays. So yeah, it's very important to have yourself the whole day. When you're back home, now is the time you should unpack everything at night and make your room look pretty. Your room is going to be your best friend. This is going to be the first house that you're living in London. It's going to be so memorable. I'm gonna place a photo of my first room that I had in London. I made it look so pretty. I think it has been the best room I could have ever gotten. That room will see the most of you, your sick days, your lonely days, your crying days, your happy days. It's going to be a comfort space, so make sure you make it look pretty, make sure it's clean. Got few stuff from India from my old room to put it into my new rooms. So that's your first day when you're here. The real shit starts the next day. 4 things that you should do, like definitely you shouldn't miss this. As soon as you get them done, that's how easier it's going to be. Number 1 thing is your BRP card. Your BRP card is your biometric permit resident. So this card is your visa that allows you to stay for however long your course is. You need to collect it. When you're in India, when you're booking your course or when you're paying your fees, they ask where they should send this BRP card. You have 2 options, either to collect it from the nearest post office or either to collect it from your university. Always select your university option where you're gonna be going anyways. So the best option is to collect it from your university. The second most important thing that you need to do is open a bank account. when you're coming from India to here, don't get too much cash, because when you go on the airport to change the currency, they charge you so much, you don't even get half price, so it's no use. But I would always suggest to get it into your card, debit or credit card. Now I know 2 bank accounts that my friends use and I myself use that you can apply online, which is Monzo and Metro. These you can just apply online and give your address, they will send the card to your address. I didn't know that I can apply online. In my case, what happened was I just walked into a bank, my nearest bank. I saw there was HSBC. They were really helpful to me. Told me I would need my passport and a cover letter from my landlord or my agency, basically showing proof of living, where I live, wherever I rented, and yeah, and few other details, like I had to fill a form, and my card was made in less than 15-20 minutes. I was set to go. Another point I want to mention in this is, in case your family wants to send you money to London and you want it as soon as possible, they can send you through bank. That takes 24 hours the least. But there's another app called Wise app that my brother uses, and you get money like literally in 3 hours or less than 3 hours, and I think that's the best app, to be honest. Really useful for international students. I want to mention that this video is not sponsored by literally anyone, like I wish it was, but it's not. It's literally my personal experience and how I have learned, or my family have learned. The next most important thing that you need to do is apply for your NI number. NI number is your national insurance number. You need your NI number in order to work part-time, full-time or internships. I'm gonna tell you a very funny story. When I came to London for 3 months, I was just like university and going here and there, and I saw my friends doing part-time. I was like, okay, I want to do part-time, and I went to the store, and my first part-time was in Superdrug, which is amazing for me because I love makeup, and there was makeup all around. First part-time job was as a sales advisor, and for an interview I got passed and everything, and then my manager is like, we need your NI number. I was like, what's an NI number? They're like, it's a national insurance number, we need it to work. And now that I think back, I feel like I would have looked so dumb and they still hired me. So I went to my friends who I was living with. I was like, what's an NI number? And they were laughing on my face. They were like, you're crazy. Basically they helped me and they applied for my NI number. That's why I said you should connect with people and live with your friends, because they'll always help you, and I remember my friend helping me a lot with that. So yeah, your NI number is quite important and you should apply for it as soon as you land. The last very important thing that you need to do is register your GP. And I shouldn't give anyone this advice because it's been more than a year I'm living in London and I haven't registered my GP, and I had the worst experiences in where I had a stone pain, I was sick, I had 103 fever, and I was like sneezing and I was coughing and I had no doctor to see me, and yeah, and I still haven't registered for my GP. Get secure. You can't just walk into any clinic. What you have to do is you have to register your GP. So when you get sick, you contact NHS. NHS is National Health Service, and what they do is they give you an appointment for the GP and they have your previous medical history. In my case, I really got sick quite a few times. When I say sick, I say sick. I went to emergency rooms. I think I was there for 8 to 12 hours and there was nobody to help me, and then a nurse came and saw me and then she gave me a paracetamol. So yeah, but to be honest, London is very systematic and it's very organized. Actually my fault for not registering for the GP, because if I had the GP then I had nothing to worry about. I could just literally contact my GP. Actually suggest you your GP as soon as possible. You don't have to be like me and cry when you're in pain, and you can go to the doctor. So that's it for today's video. I hope you enjoyed it. I'm tired of talking. It's all based on my personal experience. This is what I faced and I wish somebody would have told me when I first came here. I'm gonna be making more videos like these. For example, I'm gonna be talking about the internships I did and advice on that. I'm gonna be talking about part-times, full-times. But if you have any doubts, if you have any video ideas, don't forget to comment them below. Also DM me on my Instagram regardless of a video idea, or if you need any help, you're in London and you need any help, just send me a message that you're from this video so I can open it and I know, okay, you need help, and I can help you out and get back to you as soon as possible. Like this video. I'm so tired that I can't speak anymore, but thank you so much for watching, and yeah, that's about it. I'll see you in my next one.